Hi, my name is Charles Borges de Oliveira. I'm a lettering artist, type designer, and also a graphic designer. I design the old stock actions to replicate the tools that I use on a daily basis in my design work. Old stock is ideal for graphic designers as well as the type designer. This video will show you how to use the old stock actions in a graphic design setting as well as using the actions for type design. So let's jump in and create a logo using two of the old stock actions. Okay, I've gone ahead and typed out the text, and I'm using my font Desire for this demonstration. I went ahead and picked out some of the alternate characters as well as one of the ligatures. So I think this will work for a logo. So I'm going to go ahead and select the text. And for this demonstration we'll be using old stock drop shadow minus outline small. So I'm going to go ahead and use the solid fill action. And in the actions panel I'm going to press play. And old stock will go to work and produce a nice drop shadow for us. Okay, so we've got our drop shadow. Let's go ahead and select our text. We're going to cut it. And I'm going to go ahead and lock the layer that has the drop shadow. And we'll create a new layer and paste our text into that layer. So now we're ready to run our next action. So let's go ahead and select our text. And we're going to be using old stock fill, and I'm going to use the Engraver 2 action. So I'll go ahead and press play again. Okay, so now we've got our engraved look. So let's add some colors to this, and then we can also put this into our background. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock the drop shadow layer. And I'm going to select the letters here, and let's add some color to this. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the gradient. I think that looks pretty good. Now let's go ahead and select the engraved part, and I'll add this tan color to it. And let's go ahead and adjust the gradient here. That looks pretty good. Maybe we'll make it a little bit brighter. There we go. Now let's go ahead and select the drop shadow. And I'll use this lighter tan color for the drop shadow. And we'll just go ahead and adjust it again until we get it just about where we want it. I think that looks pretty good. Now let's place all this into our background, and this will complete our logo. And there we go. A finished logo. For our next demonstration, we'll show how to use old stock's actions for type design. Okay, for this next demonstration, we'll be showing how to use old stock's actions for type design. So I've gone ahead and typed out 4 Ks here, and each K is on its own separate layer. So the first K would be considered the base font. So we'll move on to the second K here, and we're going to run an action on this one. So I'm going to use old stock drop shadow minus outline small, and we'll use the solid fill drop shadow. So I'm going to press play in the actions panel, and we'll just go right through all the different actions. So we can go ahead and delete the K, and we'll move on to the next one. Go ahead and select it, and this one we're going to use diagonal tight, and again I'll press play in the actions panel. And again, I'm going to delete the K. And now for the last one. I'm going to go ahead and select it. And this one, I'm going to use old stock inset fill, but I'm going to use line fade inset top. So I'll go ahead and press play. And again, I'm going to delete the K. So if we zoom out, you'll see the 4 different fonts we could have. We could have the base, a solid drop shadow, a diagonal drop shadow, and also an inset fill. So I've gone ahead and created a font using the 3 actions that have been shown. So let's see how it works. Okay, I've gone ahead and created 4 fonts. 3 of the fonts are using the old stock actions. So I've got 4 layers here. Each layer has the base font already loaded into it. And I've gone ahead and changed the colors as well. So your first font would be the base. So let's move on to the second one here. So this would be your solid drop shadow. So let's go ahead and change the font. And now we've got our solid drop shadow. And we'll move on to the next one. So this is our diagonal drop shadow. So let's go ahead and change that as well. And then the last one here is the fill. So I'm going to go ahead and select it, and I'll change it to the fill font. So now, if we turn on all the layers, you'll see how this looks. And there we have it. A font created using the actions from Old Stock.